You guys, we have to talk about this video. It's making its rounds, and people are so happy. You know why? Because white men, white America, is speaking out, and they know that Karmelo Anthony is innocent. I said it, and I said it loud and proud. When you have white men speaking out, you know honey, they don't have nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? We had a white woman speak out too. So white people are speaking out. Go white people. All right. So let's watch this video. I want to react and I want to know what you guys think. Everybody is talking about this guy and what he has to say. They say he's better than the lawyers. I want you guys to check it out. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe here. And I just want to say thank y'all for the likes and the shares. Keep them up. I appreciate it. Okay.
All right, I made a video a few days ago about the Karmelo Anthony trial. Well, basically the altercation between him and Austin Metcalf. And the thing is this. All right, for all you people that are getting on my video I made a few days ago, and you're basically saying Karmelo's guilty. And let's just say, for the most part, most of you motherfuckers are just some sick fucks. And you guys are either racist or just dumb as fuck. But I'm not going to say 100%. I'm going to say this. If you think this is what happened, that Austin went up to Karmelo by himself and just was like, hey, man, you got to get up out of here. And just did that. And then Karmelo stabbed him. Yeah, it makes sense why you would think Karmelo should go down. If that's the only context you believe that happened, then yeah, it makes sense to you that. And I would agree with you. Damn, that's all that happened. He shouldn't have stabbed him. But that ain't what happened. And the fact that you're omitting everything else makes you a sick piece of shit. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you like this. All right. Say this happened. Say me and any three motherfuckers that you know, yourself included, went to a bank. We all know each other. We're going to a bank. And you have no clue what I'm doing. You just assume that what I'm about to do is just withdraw some money. And I decide, without letting you know, that I'm about to go up in that bank. And then right when we all walk in, I pull out a gun and I say, all right, everyone put your fucking hands up. I'm robbing this bitch. What are you doing? Think about that for a second. What are you going to do? Right? Think about that. Are you going to do this? One or two things. Are you going to stand there and be like, yeah, he's robbing this bitch. Or you're going to be like, what the hell, dude? Like, calm down. What are you doing? Think about how you would respond to that. All right. Now, let's say you go with the first route where you sit there and you go, try to puff up your chest and like you tough as fuck, right? The cops come barreling in there. Are they going to think you are part of the robbery? Or are they going to think that you had nothing to do with it? Now, keep that in your mind for a second, because I'm about to break it down to you. All right. Because then I made it, in that first video I made, I said that, and I'm saying this right now, the more I think about it, they should arrest Hunter Metcalf. All right? Because we know for a fact, Hunter has something to do with what happened between Austin and Karmelo. How do we know? When the shit first went down, what did Hunter say? We. He didn't say Austin. He didn't say I. He said we, meaning him and Austin and a couple other friends were telling Karmelo what to do. They were telling Karmelo what to do. You can't omit that out of what you think how Carmelo's guilty. You can't omit that. You can't say that happened and then leave that out because Austin's the one that put his hands on Karmelo. You can't omit the fact that the rest of them were involved. Why can't you? Because in the state of fucking Texas, the multiple assailant, there is a fucking law. Multiple assailants are the equivalent of a weapon. So the fact, and don't lose me here. The fact that they all approached Karmelo and they all were telling him what to do. All right. Now think about that for a second. You have no right to say that for one, Karmelo ain't got to listen to what thing they fucking say. He can say what the fuck he wants. He ain't got to listen to what them motherfuckers say. If they tell him to move, he can decide to move or he can just sit the fuck still. Your problem, that's how I know you guys are some sick fucks. Your first thought is to say this, that Karmelo was the provoker because all he had to do was move. Well, you know what the initial thought should have been? All they had to do is not fucking put their hands on him and tell him what to do. That's all they had to do. All they had to do was go run and tell the coach. But they didn't. They decided that they were the authority and they owned his black body. That's what they acted like. They owned his body and they get to tell it where to be. No, they don't. All right. So who are you to say that Karmelo, sitting down, who never got up, has to look up at Austin because you think there was only Austin involved? But like I said, Hunter already admitted that he was involved too. You think Austin or Karmelo's going to look up at Austin and then see his twin brother and think to himself, all right, if this turns into a fight, I'm sure the guy that looks exactly like him is not going to help him. And I'm sure the other two dudes are not going to help him. So he had every reasonable feeling to believe, all right, they're against me. They are against me. So at the point he had that feeling, and then it escalated from them telling him what to do to one of the attackers putting their hands on him. That's multiple assailants, you stupid fucks. The moment that happened, you can't just omit that. Because you can look up the law. One of them has to attack them. Not all of them, just one. Once one of them does, and they were all involved, they're accomplices. The same way you're in that bank, if you're standing with your chest puffed out, and you ain't trying to stop me, right? And even if you ain't trying to stop me, you ain't letting it be known, look, I ain't got nothing to do with this shit. They didn't do that. They didn't say, yo, Hunter, what are you doing? Or Austin, what are you doing, dude? Just calm down. They didn't do that. They stayed there in an aggressive nature, showing Karmelo, we are in solidarity with this boy. We are against you. The fact that they did that makes them all accomplices. That's why it's a big deal. It doesn't matter if they all put their hands on him. One of them did. One of them did, and they were standing there trying to intimidate Karmelo. That makes them multiple assailants. So the fact that that was happening, you can't omit that. And the fact that you are makes you either racist or you're a dumb piece of shit.
Anthony sentenced to 35 years in prison after being found guilty of murder. TMZ posts this picture of him going to prison, and it doesn't take long to see America's racism show up. The very first comment I read is, he won't be going to other people's tent no more. I respond by saying, well, Austin won't be putting his hands on other people's children anymore. Now, me personally, I don't want to go low. I love compassion and empathy. But if you want to go low, I will meet you in the trenches. Comments, general population's gonna love you, laughing. I wonder if he's pregnant yet. I read other comments talking about he's not gonna get chitlins anymore. He's not gonna get fried chicken and watermelon. Your typical, stereotypical racism in America. I believe what happened was a tragedy. 2 young men lost their life that day. But I still stand on the fact that Karmelo Anthony did not stand a chance because of his race. And yes, racism played a huge part in it. The United States Constitution gives us a right to a speedy trial to be judged by a jury of our peers. Well, Karmelo Anthony had an all-white jury and they dismissed every black juror. Why does that matter? Because you have to understand the historical context of our criminal justice system. The 13th Amendment was the abolishment of slavery except when punishment for a crime, meaning that crime became the legalized loophole for slavery. Slavery can be legal as long as we label people criminal. So for young black defendants in the United States of America, they are not afforded the presumption of innocence. Their fear is never reasonable. Karmelo Anthony's experience is not worthy of validation. His story not to be believed. In fact, every action that Karmelo Anthony took was viewed through the lens of suspicion because his very existence is suspicious to racist white America. Why did Karmelo Anthony carry a knife? Why didn't he just get up and walk away? Why was he in other people's tent? He didn't ask the questions like, why did Austin Metcalf greet him with hostility? Why didn't Austin Metcalf extend grace and kindness to him? Why didn't he offer him some water or a Gatorade and an opportunity for refuge to get out of the rain? Why did Austin Metcalf find it necessary to feel like he was the authority, that he was the gatekeeper of a tent? Why didn't he go to the authorities, to a coach? And most importantly, why didn't Austin Metcalf keep his hands to himself? Why did he put his hands on other people's children? Why did he believe that he could act with impunity? Why did he think that he was entitled to tell other people what to do? Again, Karmelo Anthony never stood a chance. Not then and not today. Every single one of those eyewitnesses were very good friends of Austin Metcalf. Every single one of them testified that Austin Metcalf is our leader. He is always protecting us, was the exact words that they testified. Protecting you from what? Why does Austin Metcalf need to protect you? He's your peer. He is not your parent. He is not an authority figure in your life, unless you've made him one. Unless you've made him feel empowered and entitled to do exactly what he did to Karmelo Anthony that day. Completely understand why Karmelo Anthony would have been in such fear. Knowing the historical context of what it's like to be black in America, understanding our criminal justice system, and also seeing the crowd that he was dealing with on that day. Why did the defense team not put him on the stand? You don't put defendants on the stand when they can self-incriminate. We know that he did it. We know that he did it. He admitted to doing it. But let us humanize him and see the why, the motive as to why he did it. Understand that it was a split-second decision, that white America always gets deference in those situations. The Daniel Pennies, the police brutality cases in which cops are always given deference in split-second decisions in which they fear for their life. That same deference wasn't given to Karmelo Anthony. Not like he had a lengthy criminal record that the prosecution could have exposed or used against him. He was a straight A student. He was a son. He was a teammate. He was a friend. Biggest reason why I say you should not have convicted of murder is because you need malicious intent to prove murder. The element of malice, a forethought malice, meaning that he went there with the intent to kill somebody, or that he had reckless disregard for human life. There was one stab. It was probably a get up off of me stab. He didn't stab him multiple times like a crime of passion. He didn't stab any of the other kids underneath that tent. The very most, they could have said manslaughter, but I still believed he was innocent because he was not the aggressor. He did not strike Austin first. Just like we saw in South Carolina when the store owner, Rick Chow, chased Cyrus down, the 14-year-old boy, 130 yards and shot him in the back and then was found not guilty. Kyle Rittenhouse went across state lines with an assault rifle to a place that we know had heightened emotions and tension. Karmelo Anthony been any one of them, he would have been an American hero invited to the White House.